I was trying to tee up Jim, but he hasn't come back yet. Bailey Knight and Champ, Knight's Champ.
Welcome back to the Supreme. We're going into our Improver final now. Course has been changed. Bailey Knight is out there with Champ. He's cast his dog around, picked up the sheep. So a little variation on the course from what you've seen early this morning. If you're watching for the first time, this is the Supreme course, Australian only course. It's a cast and draw, bringing the sheep in a straight line as possible. You see Champ just having to put a little bit of pressure on there, get those sheep moving. If you look up the ground, you'll see they've changed the gap around, so it's squared up this time. They'll walk straight at it, make a turn, head towards the race, and the Maltese cross no longer there. And it's all carry on the right hand side on a 9 metre corridor, so the corridors have been put back. And we're in for the championship. And these dogs have done very well. They've competed in the first round of the Improver. And now they've worked their way through to the finals. Bailey Knight from Queensland. Had a good trial, done really well. Represented Queensland earlier in the Interstate Challenge. Made it to the reserve spot on the Australian team. Credit to his handling and his dogs. Had a great season, won the Queensland Championship. Come home with a bag of prizes. He's done really well this year and been competitive for a number of years now. And out there with Champ, walking those sheep on his right hand side beautifully. You can see the movement of the dog left and right, just arcing around, covering the sides. Bailey's job is to keep them in that corridor and then within 9 metres of where he's walking. So just as he passes that marker, he just gives them a nudge. And they've had a run. Galloped out to the wide open spaces. And we've seen this morning from the test match. These are different sheep. They won't have had any work put in on them. The test match sheep would have had a little bit of work put in so they go into the drive a little more comfortably. These are fresh sheep, straight out of the paddock, and they'll be a little lively. And this weather and wind, as we've spoken about throughout the trial, has got them pretty lively. So Bailey's just stepping into the handler's circle now. The sheep can enter the obstacle, but they can't complete it until he steps into that circle. He just put Champ around the front, blocked them up, and then arcs him around. Here he comes, straight through, and away they go. Bit of a run. Champ quickly around to cover that break. He can't be in two places at once, so the judge won't be too harsh on him there. He has to put them through the gap, and then he's got an opportunity to get them back under control without a loss of points. Once again, two judges. One following up from behind Kenny. He's there following the trialer. And then one will be whizzing around in the buggy on the outside so they don't miss a trick. So Bailey's just worked those sheep beautifully back into course on the corridor, and now he takes his step and he's away, and he'll carry him again on his right hand side. So he's just taken a couple of minutes and they've broken back around him. A little bit of a runner, singled. Dog's got to come back and get them both, and they've come off the other side as well. And this is where the points go. It's a point here and a point there. Each time they break out of those corridors, it's a cost. And that's frustrating because he had them pretty nicely settled, and then the next move, they took a trot. So back on course now. Bailey, he's taken his time. 15 minutes to complete the course, 100 points. And they head towards the race. So this morning, New Zealand picked up the third of the 3 tests, won it by a decent margin, put on a good display of trialling. Yesterday, Australia picked up the 2 tests, winning the Willow Go Cup. And it did rubber this morning, but the Kiwis stepped up and went home with some pride, taking home the 3rd test. And now we move on to other finals. This is the Improver final, middle level. Novice final was run directly after the novice. Improver final now, and then Open top 10 will follow this for the Ultimate Supreme Champion. So big day of trialling, lots to see, lots to do. And really some of the very best dogs in Australia will be on display, and handlers will be on display today, vying for that top prize. Bailey Knight with Cham just working his way from the race, done that beautifully, towards the bridge. And you can see the difference is they can't help. They've just got to stand still and direct and keep moving down the corridors. Whereas in the test match, the handlers got involved. They moved, they used their body, used their hands, and were able to influence the sheep. So quite a difference in the style of trialling when the obstacles are pretty similar. Here the dog has to do all the work, and Bailey will step into that circle, and it's the dog's job to put them over that bridge, lining them up nicely. One's going, and Cham just sort of ran past them and just turned them out a little bit. Not too much damage. Setting them up. A little breakaway. It's the same sheep that gave him some trouble as he left the gap. That little short one, a little bit lighter than the others. He's been a bit of a jerk at that point. But not too costly. Set him up nicely. It's pretty breezy and pretty cold out there. Good for the dogs. Conditions won't get too hot, but pretty chilly for spectators, that's for sure. Much happier being up in the commentary box, out of the wind. Bailey just trying to get those sheep to stay together and stop their little breaks. Each time they do, they ping off the course, and there's a point there and a point here. And in these big finals, saving a point is very, very important. Cham just gets them going again. Never feel like you're totally in control of these sheep when they're running like this. Got a bit of a head of steam up, galloping away. Bailey heads towards the pen. 20 points on the pen. Important to shut the gate. Bailey just taking his time, moving towards Little Runner, moving towards that circle. Still a different sheep this time. Now they're all off. Away they go. Breaking around behind the pen. So generally from a judging viewpoint, it's probably 1 point down the side, 2 points if they get all the way down the side, 3 points if they do a lap. And these have also had a little breakaway as well, so might be a little more expensive. As they manoeuvre now just to try and, just got to try and bring them around to the front of that pen, get them to have a little bit of a look. He's done well at all the other obstacles. They've gone straight over. Here they're just playing up a bit. Here we go. That looks a bit better. Around the other side. Champ's got them lined up. Right on the hinge, perfectly positioned. Takes a step in they go. Now, are they going to stay there? They look settled. Bailey's going for the gate. Picks it up. Bailey Knight with Champ, our first competitor in the Supreme Improver Final. Bailey Knight scored a 79.5. Terrific score. First one out in the Improver Final. Bruce Harper stepped to the post with his little dog called Ruby. Ruby's away. Out on the right-hand cast. Second one out in the Improver Final for the Supreme Championship. Sponsored by Hypro. Here in the Geelong Showgrounds. If you're in the neighbourhood, you should come down and have a look. It's chilly, but there's plenty going on, and you're going to see the best of the best. The top 10 will run after the Supreme Improver Final. Some fantastic dogs on display, and these are really the best in the country. 3 sheep trialling at the very top level. Ruby's brought those sheep down pretty nicely. She's got them already down to the handler's post. No trouble at all. She's just going to wind them around behind Bruce, and then away they go. They've had a little run. She just didn't quite get there then. She just pulled up a bit short. Not sure if you got an instruction to stop, but just didn't catch the head, and they just took a few metres off her. And now they're running up the ground, so good start. It just cost him a point or two, and it's going to go again on the other side this time. So we said they were runny, and they're proving to be so. Running everywhere at the moment. And Ruby's onto it. She's on the head now, trying to block them up, steer them towards Bruce, who's walking up the corridor with his walking stick in hand. He won't be able to use that. You have to be really careful he doesn't pick it up and try and direct the dog. He can use it as a walking aid, but not allowed to use it to direct the dog or direct the sheep. Ruby's just having a little bit of trouble getting hold of these guys. They just pretty happy to go wherever they want to go, looking for a bit of green pick. And they break off to the left-hand side of the course. So it hasn't been super tidy so far. Hopefully he can pull it all together. Let's see the three sheep. One's going on its own. Ruby comes in and covers it. Concentration plus head down. Circling around. So Bruce is going to try and pop them through backwards by the look of it. Teach them there's a gap there. And those sheep are not interested in anything but the grass at the moment. And every time their heads pop up when the dog arrives, they make a run for it. It's really difficult to get them to pay attention and not panic. They look pretty hungry. Been out the back on hay bales all morning and afternoons. So they've probably got a little bit hungry. The green pick's pretty tasty. Ruby just manoeuvring them now around to the front of that obstacle. See, they just don't even want to look anywhere else. And that shaggy sheep's having a bit of a run around. Come down back around the side again. So it's not going Ruby's way at the moment. Just struggling to get them to actually cooperate. And she steps, arcs out around. They might just beat her around the other side too. Oh, she's there. She got there. Now, much better position. Looking down the side. Oh, good block. But they haven't looked at that opening yet. Here we go. Maybe. Just now. One's on the outside. Don't leave him behind. It's a risky position to be in. If Ruby gets between the handler and the sheep at any point, that's a cross. So she's right. It's a really tough position they got themselves into. Right there. Two have gone through. One's left behind. Now she's pushed the others out. Oh, and that one just wandered through the gap. He just did not pay attention to Ruby, and two went through. One went down the side. So it's all got to be done again. And this is proving to be tricky because this guy doesn't want to put his head up, and the other two have wandered off a fair way now. And the risk of crossing gets much higher when the splits occur. Okay, he's started to join in maybe a little bit now. Frustrating sheep. Now they've gone around the back again. So this first obstacle's proving to be tough for Bruce and Ruby. And the sheep are just not that fussed about the dog at all. In he steps. In she steps. Keeps working. Now she's got his attention. But they're not in the right position. They're at the back of the obstacle and they've got to come around the front and they must go through from the other side. So here we go. This looks a little better. See what Ruby can do. Again, they put their heads down and get into the grass and ignore the dog. She's going to have to impress them at some point without upsetting them, and that's the trick. Here we go. Lining up. 2 through 3 through. Well, that's a bit of a relief. That took a while. Time's his enemy now. Half the time's just about ticked away, and he's only completed the first section of the course. But, you know, if he gets a move on, he should be okay. So once again, 9 metre corridor, right-hand side, right-hand course. Sheep ideally sitting on the right hand of the handler. With the dog holding him in the middle of that corridor. You can see it well marked. It's 9 metres wide. As they approach the freestanding raceway. It's a little Y chute. It's got a Y front, open at the front. And it's a pretty clear vision straight through, so the sheep haven't had too much trouble with this one. But you've got to line them up pretty well so they see, and these guys are not looking at anything but grass. So when they're not looking where they're going, they just pop their heads up and make a little run for it. And here they go, just stolen a point for no real reason other than they just decided to wander that way. And now they're going the other way. And that gap was trouble. What's the race going to do? Pretty well set up there. Got to get around quickly. Ruby comes around just to block them up, and they got their heads down again. Here they go, bit of a run round the side. She's just struggling to impress them, and they're not too bothered about the dog until she gets right under their nose almost. And then they have a little gallop, and those little gallops are taking them off course. There's 2. Nearly turned them in. There they go, straight through. Look at that. Good job. Got them moving, steered them from behind, got them through. So the bridge. He'll take a moment just to bring them back on course. They just wandered off course still, but Bruce decided to head off. Oh, nearly. Oh, Ruby, goodness me. She nearly went across in front of him. Just pulled her up at the right time. So improver level is the middle level. These are dogs that have won a novice, but haven't won an open yet. So they're not always the finished product. Still very talented dogs. It's not an age thing, it's an experience thing or a competition thing. So these improver dogs are one step above novice, but one step below open. And they can also compete as open dogs once you've won a novice. So you have the opportunity to compete in open events. So these dogs may also feature in the top 10 if they've done well enough. And they've entered both levels. So Ruby now at the bridge. She's moving left and right, covering the sides, and again the sheep just want to munch on that grass. Oh, two are up. One rolled. Still not happy. And there he goes. What's he going to do? He's going to stay there. Ruby. He's going to have to go up. No, she doesn't need to. She's got him off. So that's good. Just the pen. And he clawed back a fair bit of time. He moved along well enough. Just the pen to go. It's a bit of a walk. He'll need to get a move on. Just bringing those sheep back on course, trying to save a point. Get them started. And away he goes. Bruce Harper with Ruby heading to the pen. The second of our competitors in the Supreme Championship Improver event. Thanks to Hypro. Now the sheep have had a little breakaway on the inside of the course. Couple of minutes left. Plenty of time if he gets there and gets settled. Bruce doing a good job keeping those sheep ticking along with Ruby. Around she goes, ready to go. Sets them up. Hopefully the grass in that pen is juicy enough, because that's all they seem to be interested in. And if they can graze into it, that will be really good for Bruce. Here they go. Almost are going to walk straight in. No, one down the side. Ruby had to cover it. Coming out the other side. Squeezing through the gap. Oh, that was unlucky. They haven't gone straight in. They looked like they might, and then they decided, they had a second thought and wheeled out. And that runner's coming down the side. Got a bit of a split. 2 and 1. They found that gap between the handler and the gate, and that's not always a good thing. Because once they find it, they tend to use it. So they're right there now. Ready to go. Ruby's covers that side. Comes back the other side. And through that gap again. Yeah, once they've found that gap, they tend to use it. And they've used it again this time. Couple of points gone. But it's time. That's the enemy now. He's got only a few seconds left. He needs a little bit of cooperation with these sheep. And he needs a little bit of luck, because at the moment, they don't look like they're happy to get in, and he's going to struggle. Time ticks away. Come on, Ruby. Had his chance just to get the gate shut. Oh, and the time's beaten him. Bruce Harper with Ruby. Unfortunately not able to get the pen. Still be get a score. We'll find out what it is.
To keep your dogs healthy and on the go, beat 'em. Hypro, that's the go.
Oh, I love Hypro Premium because it's just great nutrition for the dogs and gives them plenty of stamina for their work on the farm and keeps their coats and everything else in great condition. Quality food like Hypro Premium ensures sustained energy levels for efficient handling of livestock.
Hypro, that's the go. Hypro, that's the go. Get behind.
Bruce and Ruby scored a 43.5 to add to his first round score. Out there at the moment is Chris Davies with Penny. Chris has sent Penny out on a sweeping round. Right hand cast, beautiful. Yellow, red and white border collie. I don't know what colours they call them nowadays. Ginger. And that wind blowing in her fur, you can see it. Chris just whistling away. Keeping those sheep coming nice and straight. Penny just weaving backwards and forwards, keeping them in line, heading in the right direction. So far so good, looking good. Nice and straight. And again, the sheep heads down, starting to nibble the grass. Starting to relax. And sometimes these lighter coloured dogs, they can get closer to their sheep without upsetting them. She's doing a nice job, just working closer and closer, trying to get them to get moving but not get running. A little breakaway at the back. She's quick, she's around, she's got hold of them. Catches the heads. Chris is off. Down the ground they go. Looking good so far. Staying on course. Just breaking off a little bit on the side. It's a narrow little corridor when the sheep are pinging like they are, and it's hard to keep them in there. But the point's gone, so you got to just get on with it. And get them back inside that corridor and keep them there if you can. And that's looking a little bit better. Just stopped Penny. She brings her back around behind her. Straightens them up. They're just skirting the line there, but they're on course. You can see just the little step outside that cone marker. And the judge is right there watching it and gets the point. And that's where they go. Hundreds to start with. And it's the corridors that kill you. Although this obstacle too has proven to be a bit of a challenge. They just haven't presented to it very well. And they've got around the back this time as well. For Chris and Penny. We saw the run before. They were just a bit tricky here. They just didn't want to stop eating grass and actually move. They just wanted to get their heads down, ignore the dog. And Penny's really close to them now, and they just don't care. And Chris looking splendid in a black blazer and hat. And the breeze has been blowing, so hopefully the hat stays on because it's pretty gusty out there. Out on the big stage. I'm just trying to get Penny just to manoeuvre those sheep around the front of that gap. And they're not really cooperating overly well. Here they go around the back again. Single on his own. Heads are up at least. The the sheep's almost in the circle with Chris there. Okay, that's better. Better position. Oh, they've come around the side. Wow. Oh. And a little tight squeeze from Penny and a spin off as well. So that's a tail turn. She steps in. And the other two seem pretty laid back. It's this big guy that's going for a run now. He's the one that's causing trouble. Rough coated. Not the nicest sheep. And what is meant to be a fairly straightforward obstacle is turning into a little bit of a headache. Again, they go around the back. Seen the gap. This time they've gone through. What can she do? Can she wheel them around? Just wheel them around and put them back through again. They know there's an opening there. They've seen it. They've been through it. And that rough-coated one's having a look now. Might just take them straight through. A little adjustment. Don't let him get around the side. There they go. Well, that's a little bit of a relief. That took a bit of time and a bit of a headache, actually. And we saw in the run before that the messing around at the gap knocked off a bit of time and effectively cost the pen. And Chris and Penny are away. They're off. Sheep are on course. Little breakaway. On to the race. Each obstacle gets progressively more difficult. Starts with a gap, just a simple gap. Simulating perhaps a break in the fence or a gate. And many farmers will know sheep comes to gates and they want to go anywhere but through the gate. So it's a good test of a dog just to put them through a gate. And then the next obstacle is that raceway. And the raceway is got a Y opening. So it's wider at the front and narrows. And they just slip down the side of it. And from a points viewpoint, if a sheep sticks its nose down the side of a panel or past an obstacle, it's a single point. If they get down the side like they have now, it's 2 points. If they do a full lap, it's 3 points. And if they do a full lap with some distance, some metres, it can be a whole lot more. So this time they've just gone straight back through. So a couple of points down the side, but that's all this time. It's good work by Penny. Chris doing a good job. So they're away. Once again, walking that line, left-hand side of the course. Sheep on the right-hand side of the course, ideally. Looks like they're just skirting the line again. And Chris, once she starts walking, she has to continue. She can't stop. She can take a couple of steps backwards if she needs to. And she's got to maintain her pace. She can't speed up or slow down. The judge would deem that she's trying to block or influence the sheep, and that would be shepherding. And there'd be a penalty applied for that as well. So it's all down to the dog to control the sheep and the handler to do the directing. And she's got a short stick there. You can see she's conducting an orchestra. She's conducting that dog. Supreme Improver Championship for Hypro. Chris with Penny out there at the moment. Just about to pop them over the bridge. Just taking her time, thinking. Doesn't want to upset them, but still got to push them and influence them. And you can see the progression of the obstacles. This is a bridge, includes a ramp, so the dog's got to be able to push them up that ramp and then get them to jump off the other end. And sometimes they just sit up there, or they don't go on there at all. And at the moment, they're not doing too much except eating grass. So Penny's going to have to come in and do something in a moment. What can she do? They've just slipped down the side through that gap. One's on, two are off. And they're getting a bit stirred up. Two are on. Three in the mouth and around the side again. Oh, goodness. Wow, she had to work pretty hard to try and cover that sheep. And it just squeezed it out the back. And now she's back in front of the obstacle, but she stirred them up a little bit. Maybe that's enough to get them moving, because at the moment they were just ignoring the dog. Well positioned. Right in front of it. Takes a step in. There's the big guy on the right just looking at the dog. Needs the other two to take him up. Bit of a confrontation. This is where the test of the dog's strength comes in. Is she strong enough? Is she able to step in and say, okay, I'm going to dominate you from here? Because right at the moment, the sheep are winning. They're all facing the dog. She's reversing her off, taking the pressure off, giving them a chance to turn. Sheep are taking advantage of it and stepping out. Here we go, rolling. Two are on, three are on. Good work. Very, very nicely done. Good job. And around they go. Well, took a few minutes just to complete that bridge. She was on a good score, good time. And now the time becomes the next issue. Plenty of time if everything goes well. And the sheep again heads down, ignoring the dog. Little run on now. It's almost a pattern. It's almost Groundhog Day. They come off that bridge and they start to eat the grass, and the dog gives them a little touch, and then away they go. And then they get to the pen and they're not in a good frame of mind. So it's a tricky part of the course. Little breakaway again. Penny on the head, blocking him up. Chris working away towards that handler's circle. Sheep look good, lining up. Don't let them get behind. Penny's there to stop it. They've just slipped past the gate a fraction. Oh, and they're coming again. She gave him a bump. Just got a little bit tight on that flank. Just got caught a bit flat-footed and hit the shoulder of the sheep. Fortunately, it swung back and joined its mates, but that can cause the sheep to run. And she's just now moving them around, trying to get them in front of that pen. Here they go. They've gone through the gap again. And we saw this in the last run where you had one crack at it. And if they didn't go in, they started to rattle the points off. And time, again, becomes an issue. Chris Davies with Penny right at the pen. But she's got to get them on the other side, around in front. And time is ticking away. She might struggle. Becomes a real issue. She's just settling things down. Decided not to try. not to run any more points off. Round they go, and there's the timer. So, Chris Davies with Penny doing a really nice job until the pen. And this is the pressure of championships. We'll be back shortly with the next competitor in our Improver Championship final. Craig Freestone with Gem, our next competitor in the Hypro Supreme Improver final. Gem, rough-coated collie. Headed out and picked up his sheep already. And straight away they look like they're runners. Got a bit of a jog on. I think it's going to be a theme for this final. They're not going to be easy. But we don't want to walk in the park for the final. We want the dogs to be tested, and the dogs have got to come up with the goods. And so far, 2 handlers have failed to pen in our final. So the pen is going to be the difference. So Craig and Gem, they've got them down nicely. Setting them up just in front of that winding post, the handless post. And she'll try and bring them around behind where Craig is standing. And then wheel him around onto his right-hand side. And he's done that pretty nicely. That's tidy. And just wheeled too far and come out the other side. So if they go around that post the wrong way, the handler has to unwind, bring them back around the correct way. So they're always trying to bring their sheep down on the left-hand side of where the handler is standing. And they'll try and line that up from the fairway out so they can keep them on that left, so they don't break back the other way, because an unwind can be a bit of trouble. So Craig's away, Gem just managing him nicely. Round she goes. Just introduces herself to the sheep, gets them moving. Got a bit of a trot on, but it's a good pace. Don't need the gallop, just need the little trot. That's ideal. Keep in touch with them. Dog's just almost wafting behind them. Not too much pressure. And just bumped off to the side. They're heading towards that gap. So Craig just circles the dog in front, turns them around. So again, they're little losses of points. The sheep going in the wrong direction. Sheep stepping out of the corridor. Sheep stepping around an obstacle. They're all the points, and they rattle up pretty quickly if you're not careful. But Craig didn't need them getting past that gap, so he just put the dog in front, just held him up a bit, and now he can start to work it. So she steps in. Heading him in the right direction towards it. They haven't had a look. Heads are down. A little bit of a look then. That little guy on the right-hand side, and he's decided, I don't like the look of that. He's wandering off. Gem just rolling backwards and forwards, keeping them ticking over. Oh, don't want them between that gap we saw before from the previous run. Once they learn that space, they're happy to go in there, and there should be enough pressure from the handler to stop that, but once they feel that they can go in there, they go through it. Here we go. This is a little better. Setting them up. Through they go. Nicely done. Very nicely done. So Craig and Gem heading over now to the race. He takes a step out of the circle, and away he goes. He's got those sheep just following him along nicely. Beautiful position. And see, they're really not worried about Craig at all. They just want to eat grass. Now he's going to have to walk through them. So what's going to happen now? Just bumped them. He can't stop. He has to continue walking. So the sheep set themselves up on that line. You have to keep walking through them, and that can sometimes cause them to get a bit upset. Pretty resilient sheep at the moment. They're staying around, but they're just weaving backwards and forwards on the outside of that corridor. So a point here and a point there, and they're little point pinchers. And some of the scores in the Open Championship were up in the 90s, so you can see how good those dogs were and how they managed their sheep to save as many points as possible. So they've gone into the race. Craig will want to step into his circle before they come out. If he does that, he can continue, and he's done it. Really well worked. Doesn't have to rework it. And he's off to the bridge, doing it in really good time, even though he's moving fairly slowly. It's just hasn't had too much trouble. Hasn't had to pause, hasn't had to wait. He's just had a nice flowing action. Steady as you like, nice and easy going. Sheep not turning back, sheep not doing laps around the obstacles. So approaching the bridge now, doesn't want him past it, so he puts the dog out in the front. Craig striding out, going to get in that circle, and now he starts to bring the sheep along. Sets them up. Oh, one's down the side, two down the side. Well, that looked pretty good from here, and then all of a sudden, they thought that bridge looks a bit scary. I'm going to duck down the side, and they did it. Now all three are down the side. Going to dig them out of that wing. Push him around the front and pop him over. This is the first, a little run now. This is the first bit of real trouble that Craig's had. Pretty nice run so far. And they just stand wandering around. Here we go, that's better. Straight up. Up and over. 1, 2, 3, off they come. So it wouldn't have cost him too much. It's just a little hiccup. He sets them up now for the carry. Got a ton of time. And that can be good and that can be bad. If he gets to the pen and the sheep start playing up, it can cost him a heap of points. He's going to go for it. He's heading to the pen. Sheep are on course. They're walking nicely. Little Gem really is inoffensive to them. They really like her, actually, and she just floats around and they just move along. Nothing too sudden. Everything's fairly gentle. Good distance. Almost inoffensive to the sheep. Got them nice and settled. Craig just keeps walking along. Sits Gem down. Gets them in contact again. See, those sheep just want to graze. Heading towards the pen. Well, look good. Well set up. He's got Gem on his side, holding that pressure. Flips her around. Just get them before they duck down the side. Well, that's unfortunate. One's gone in and two have ducked down around the back. And this is where time can be a problem, because if he's got so much of it, they can do a lot of laps. Still 5 minutes of his trial. He's done it really quickly. It didn't look quick because he took his time, but he just didn't have any hiccups, and everything flowed so easily, and he's got to the pen with 5 minutes up his sleeve. He wouldn't want to mess around here because this could be really costly. See if he can massage them in. He's doing a good job. Got him walking towards it. She covers that side this time, covers this side. Now they don't want to go through this gap here either. Step in. Looking good. On the hinge. In they go. They're not happy. That big guy's turned out. He's not fully in. And I don't think Craig will risk it just yet. He'll get him to settle. Heads down, having a graze. That's a better look. He's going for the gate. As soon as that head went down, he went for the gate. And he got that shut. Great job, Craig Freedstone, with Gem getting the gate shut in the Improver Hypro Supreme Championship final.
With that other angle, looking straight at that sheep.
In the competitive sport of sheepdog trialling, dogs have to be on their game. So we feed them Aussie-made Hypro Premium. It gives them the right balanced nutrition to compete at every level.
Hypro, that's the go.
So John Cantrell from Dubbo in New South Wales with his dog Puma is our final of the top 5 in the Supreme Improver Championship here. And he's set to go. Puma's sent out on a sweeping right-hand cast. Now Puma's had a pretty good trial. Only a young dog. She won the novice earlier this week. Posted a couple of terrific scores. And was able to nominate into the Improver Open and managed to be the last run of the trial and scored an 80 to put her into the final of the Improver, backing up her terrific novice performance. So John's had a good trial and Puma's had a good trial, and she's here fighting it out. She'll need a good score to win. But so far, so good. Little black and white dog. And lightning fast. Super responsive. And she's got those sheep moving in a pretty nice, steady way at the moment. Just wandered a little bit off to the right. Judges might take a point for that. Not as straight as he probably would have liked it for a perfect run. But hasn't really upset them, bringing them back in now. And they're wheeling around behind where John's standing. And he hasn't got him running, so that's a good sign. He's got him settled. Promising, and she's quick. She's right there when they just sort of amble around. She's onto it. Little breakaway there. Here we go. Slight confrontation. John's been doing a lot of the commentary throughout the trial, giving a bit of education about how the trial works and operates and how the scoring is. And now he's out there showing us how it's done with Puma. So that first part of the trial's completed, did a nice job, brought them round behind him. And he's away, he's striding out, heading towards that gap. Sheep look good, pretty well placed. How quick she is. Puma, lightning fast. Before they had any time to think about breaking out, she was already onto it. And around she comes. Working a long way off, but she's so quick, she gets there without too much trouble. And she's got them working beautifully at the moment on a string. Just be careful they don't wander off on that side. Brilliant Puma's there. John keeps working, keeps striding. As he heads towards that handler's circle. The sheep look pretty well set up. Puma working like a big cat too. Crouching. Stalking. And they're setting them up now. So here we go. Puma. Just doesn't need him to slip down the side. She was quick enough. Lightly built dog. And she just responds so quickly. Lightning fast. Got him set up. Takes a step in. Rolling him around. There's a good sheep there at the front. He's looking and he's turned off. Here we go. Oh, good little block. God, she was quick. Blink and you miss it. So we're done with the first obstacle. And now she brings them out onto John's right hand side. And away he goes. And she's really working nicely. John's away. They're just walking beautifully next to him. No trouble at all at the moment. Having a little nibble, then move along again. She hasn't had too much trouble getting him moving. And she's in a good position to keep them ticking over towards that raceway. Just bending a little bit. John steps along. He's not allowed to influence them, but if he's there, he's there. And if I was him, I'd be there. And they just might break away a little bit there. Yeah, just got ahead of him and just wheeled around to the side. So they've just gone off course for a second. But up until that point, it was a pretty tidy run. So, we're going to go to the race. Puma's back around on this far side, top of the ground, blocking them up. Try and point them in the right direction. Here we go. Straight through. Goodness. She's looking fantastic. She's going to need a very good score to pinch the lead, starting a little way behind. But if she keeps working like this, she could be in with a chance. So John just takes a moment, adjusts them. Brings them back on course. He's just got to be careful he doesn't leave them behind now. No, get them going. He's moving fairly quickly, John. But that's working for him. They're following him. They're staying in step. Heading towards that bridge. It's a big ground. A lot of ground to cover. And I walked it myself without a dog and sheep just the other day. And it took nearly 6 minutes just to walk it. So add to that the sheep and the dog and all their problems you can come up. It's you got to keep moving. So John's stepping into the circle and heading to the bridge. This is the last run of our Dog Pro Supreme Improver Championship. And we'll have our winner directly after this run. They'll take a short lunch break and they'll move on to the top 10. Of the Supreme Championship for the Open. And boy, there's some good dogs to be seen in that top 10. They've already gone through 2 rounds, worked their way through. And some of the scores are just tremendous. So we'll see who wins ultimately. And at the moment, the wind is blowing a little, but the conditions are good. And you can see the sheep have relaxed, their heads are down, and they're cooperating fairly well at the moment. This middle of the day time slots can be problematic. But look at that. She's just worked them straight over the bridge. Or straight onto the bridge. Not quite over yet. There they go. Straight over. So John's on a pretty good run at the moment. I wonder what the judges are thinking. Puma wheels around. She's a fast little dog. Little trap there. Don't get them tucked in that corner. Oh, she was good, wasn't she? She just slipped in between the bridge and the sheep and just poked them out, and now they're away. And that was really nicely done, because that wing can be a bit of a trap. They can get in there and hide, and it can be tough without crossing to get the dog to get them out of there. Puma was onto it. She was already in there and out, and they got them out in no time flat. Heading to the pen. Got him on a bit of a roll. Nothing to worry about. Everything's good. On course. Oh, a little breakaway there maybe. John's... No, he's got him on course. They're good. Puma just managed them to just tickle him back in again. John will be feeling pretty good at the moment. But the pen has been the undoing of many. He just doesn't need that pressure of the pen to upset those sheep. Steps into the circle. Here we go. This is the make or break of the trial. That sheep's looking to go. How quick was she? She covered it around the other side. Lining them up. And again, staying well off, not upsetting them. They're pretty well placed. He's got a ton of time as well. Well, he should be able to roll them in just off that hinge. Got it. Wow. I think he was nearly getting shakes then, because he looked like he was going to run for the gate. John Cantrell with Puma. A very tidy run indeed. We'll wait on the score and we'll give you the results shortly. Well, we just witnessed a fantastic trial by John Cantrell to come in with a 92.5 and pinch the first place from Bailey Knight. So scores of combined scores for John Cantrell was 172.5. Bailey Knight running second on 171.5. Third was Craig Freestone. Fourth was Chris Davies. And fifth was Bruce Harper. Congratulations to all our competitors. I hope you enjoyed our coverage. We'll take a short break now and we'll be back with our top 10 for the Supreme Championship for Hypro.
Our mission at Hypro Pet Foods is to become the global leader of innovative and quality pet foods made with care in the heart of the Hawkesbury Valley, Australia. I'm John Camilleri. I'm the Managing Director of Hypro Pet Foods. Hypro started in the mid-90s as a stock food manufacturer out of a small shed, and we ran out of that for the first 5 years. Today, Hypro Pet Foods has become one of our major players in the market. The focus today is all about respecting your animal, the food and nutrition, and looking after its well-being. Quality assurance is the most important thing in making pet food. We source through our quality control management plan, where the certification processes are quite in-depth process. A lot of ingredients go into make a top quality dog food and cat. Traceability is critical. We've put systems in place to do that. We can trace every ingredient back to its source to give assurance to the pet owner on their quality. We have a full service production line to cater across the board for all of our products. Hypro Pet Foods has grown to become a parent company to a number of brands including Dog Pro, Cat Pro, Supervite, Hypro Premium, Pure Life, Bark and Beyond and many more. I have a team. They're always innovating and making new products, new packaging, new design of recipes. We've invested a lot in robotics. We've invested a lot in automation for the future. Today, Hypro Pet Foods has grown to 140 staff. A lot of my children have worked in the business and still are. They're very passionate about our company and the brand in every area that they work in the business. We're reaching out now interstate to Brisbane, Melbourne and Adelaide, where Hypro will be opening up new distribution centres to service our stores more frequently. Today, it's no longer a pet. We love our pets as much as we love our children. I love what we do at Hypro Pet Foods. I get up every morning with a passion to come to work. The comments we get from the field or from the clients or from the stores, plus also the excitement of my team. We can't wait for the next exciting project to come through.